2016 saw the introduction of the highly praised crate update. It gave players a plethora of customization options, the opportunity to get your heart racing, but probably the greatest addition of them all was the ability to trade. However, one area where Rocket League's trading perhaps fell short was the lack of automation. CSGO, which has undoubtedly one of the biggest trading scenes, has made use of bots for their marketplaces such as Bitskins, for their trade bots such as CS.money, and most controversial of them all, using bots for gambling. Fast forward to 2019, 2.5 years after the crate update, and Rocket League has finally received its first trade bot. So here we are on the TradeBot website called rlswaps.com. Now I thought I'd quickly outline what I'd like to talk about today. I'll start things off with a showcase of how the bot works. Then I'll be talking about the pros and cons of the bot itself, as well as trade bots in the entire trading scene. I'll then tackle the question of security and any issues you might face there, and then conclude things with my general opinion on the trade bot. Also, one last thing, today's video is not sponsored in any shape or form, so you can rest assured that these are all my opinions. So back to rlswaps.com, and it has quite a nice interface, which is fairly standard for most trade bots in other games. If we switch to CS.money, which is CSGO's most popular trade bot, you'll see a very similar design, a lot more functionality, but at the same time it's very cluttered, and I would say it would be a bit more overwhelming for any newcomers. At the top left, there's a how to trade button. If you want, you can pause that and read through it, but we're going to be explaining everything in video format. Now the first thing you have to do on this website in the top right is sign in with Steam. Now hopefully all of you are aware of the phishing scam. If not, in the top right you'll see a suggestion to my video I covered on it. Now I'll talk about the phishing scam in a bit more detail when we get to the security section, but let's just move on, and I'm signed in. We go to the section called Your Offer and we just click there. And what that will do is it will automatically party us up with the bot and put us into the trade window. Now, unfortunately, the only way to see the value of your items is to put them into the trade window. I've already decided what items I want to trade, so I'm going to add in my 3 painted Almas. I go back to the RL Swaps website and I see that the value is 1.06 keys. And because I already know what I want to trade, I'm going to type in Looper in the search section, because the item I want is the Tactician Certified Sienna Loopers. And you can see that the offer is fairly balanced. However, we can add in another item, and I'm going to go with the Velocity Crate, which is 5 cents. And you can see that the trade is essentially balanced. Now the bot will only accept the trade if the values are equal or if you're the one overpaying. We head back to the trade window in game, and there you can see our 2 items that we wanted, and we can just accept the trade over here. Now as you can see, the bot invites me to another trade, but I'm not really interested in anything else, so I can just cancel that and it will automatically kick me from the party. So I can just equip my Sienna Loopers now, and as you can see, the trade went through smoothly. So let's move on to talking about the pros and cons of a trade bot. Starting off with the pros. The first one being is that you can actually make profit. If we go back to my previous trade, I think I'm scoring a winning deal here. I would say that the trade bot maybe overvalues the Almas wheels a bit too much. At the same time, I'm also reducing 3 items to a single item. And the third way that we're making profit with this trade is that I think the Sienna Loopers have more demand than the painted Almas. Another pro is convenience. I'm sure we've all been in scenarios where we've agreed to a trade. You get to the trade window and then the guy asks you to add more to it. Or perhaps you invite someone for a trade deal and they never accept your invite. Maybe you're tired of dealing with rude traders. But a trade bot is very convenient in that regard. They're not going to make you wait, they're not going to be rude, and they're going to accept your trade as long as it's equal. The next benefit is when you're searching for a specific item, or maybe an obscure item. With my previous trade, I decided to go with the painted loopers because I thought that would help a lot because I'm trying to complete the looper set. But let's say you're someone that loves the Masamune and you're looking for those kawaii decals. Very difficult to find those, they usually just sit in people's inventories. And if you are hunting for one, to get those people out of the woodworks, you generally have to post ads where you're overpaying by quite a lot. And the final benefit is that it's something fresh for the trading scene. I think since the release of the trading update, trading has gotten a lot more stale over the years. So many different crates and items have been added to the game. Demand is split all over the place. Hardly anyone is looking for items, they just want keys. So this is definitely something that's fresh and new to try, and hopefully it brings a lot more people into the trading scene. But let's move on to the negatives or the cons. No surprise here, they unfortunately have to take a cut of their own. Think of it like a pawn shop. They're not going to sell the item at the same price that they buy it for. Most of their prices seem to be based off rl.insider, that price sheet. So they're going to buy your items at the low end and sell at the higher end. So if you are a trader that's looking for profit, you can't just buy and sell any sort of item here. Another issue is that trade bots might make the trading scene a lot more difficult. I know from CSGO there have been tons of complaints that it was much easier to trade before the days of trade bots, and it just seemed that a lot of people struggled to adapt to that change. Another disadvantage with this trade bot is if you make a mistake, you'll see in their message that they don't do any refunds, so just be very careful on the deal that you accept. Another downside is that the bot doesn't accept every single item. Sometimes it might have too many of a certain item, so it won't take yours. You'll see this very easily with crates, but also a lot of the other cheaper items. Next, let's quickly talk about the security issues of the bot. The first thing I want to talk about is terms of service and will you get banned if you use the bot. Now, I haven't gone through the entire Rocket League terms of service, but I would have to assume that somewhere in there'll be some sort of line that disagrees with the usage of trade bots. However, real money trading is also a violation of the terms of service, and Psyonix has kind of brushed that under the carpet. While it's a breach, they have never banned any individual for real money trading. They let the real money trading websites stay up. A lot of people are sponsored by real money trading websites, and I ultimately think a trade bot is less of a violation than real money trading. So I would say you guys as the viewers and the end users of the website, it's not really much of a concern. However, the next security issue we got to talk about is the phishing scam. And like I said, I have covered this in a video. Basically with the phishing scam, they're replicating the Steam login page. They'll get your username, your password, they'll log into your account, and they're going to trade over and steal all your items. So whenever you see Steam login pages, you have to be very careful. I would say the first thing you want to look for is that little lock icon. What it basically means is that the connection is encrypted. Now, even the phishing websites can encrypt their data, but it's a little bit more work for them to set up. So it's just the first small little thing you want to look for. However, from there, you also want to have a look at the URL. If it's the same URL as the phishing website, obviously red flag. However, what they like to also do is do a little switch on the Steam community URL. Maybe they'll only put one M, or they'll change an I to a 1. They tend to be very creative, so you have to keep an eye out on that. What they also like to do now is that it will instead pop up as a window, and it will completely hide the URL. That should be a big red flag when you can't see that, and I would suggest just closing the page from there. However, I signed into this RL Swap website with no hassle. When you log in there, Steam shows you what information they're going to gather, and I'm fairly certain Steam doesn't share any of your account details, so they're not going to be sharing your passwords or anything like that, and RL Swaps just needs this information so they can automatically get you into the trade. So that should be the security questions covered. However, if you do have any extra ones, leave them down in the comments. I can always pass them on to the creators of this website, and I should be able to get all of them answered for you guys. So, in conclusion, what do I think of this trade bot? Well, I'm definitely a big fan. Really excited to see what this brings to the scene. Like I said, trading has felt a bit stale recently, with just so many crates and items added to the game. I have done several different trades on this website and made some good profits, so hopefully you guys can too. We might start seeing different trade bots pop up as well, and that's always good. You'll see more competition, which means better prices. But those are just my thoughts on the matter. I would love to hear what you guys think, so let me know in the comments down below. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you guys are new around here, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye.